Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something we don't often think about enough: the power of keeping certain things to yourself. We live in a world where people overshare at the speed of a post, a tweet, a story. But some things are better left unspoken, held close to your heart. It's not about secrecy, it's about wisdom and peace. These are 7 secrets that, when kept to yourself, have the power to transform your life. Our dreams deserve protection. When you share your biggest dreams and ambitions too early, you risk diluting their power. Why? Because sometimes people can't see what you see. Their doubts can become your doubts. Let your goals be your own. Nurture them, work on them, and let the results be the loudest message of all. Trust me, when you reach your destination, people will know. Money is one of the touchiest topics out there. By keeping your financial situation private, you maintain control over your own life, free from judgments, comparisons, or even unspoken competition. Financial goals are highly personal. Keep that information between you and the bank until you've achieved what you set out to do. Plans, strategies, your next step, these are like chess moves. By keeping them to yourself, you prevent external influence from steering you off course. Not everyone needs to know what you're up to. And frankly, not everyone wants to see you win. When you stay silent, you protect your vision and avoid the noise. Give without fanfare. Real generosity doesn't require applause. When you help someone out, do it out of love, not for recognition. The impact of a good deed is so much more powerful when it's anonymous, when it's between you and the universe. The reward comes from within. We all have our struggles, our insecurities, our moments of doubt, but not everyone needs to know your weak points. Self-awareness is critical, but broadcasting your vulnerabilities opens the door for people to misuse that information. Instead, focus on improving those areas silently and show up stronger each day. Relationships thrive in privacy. When you share every detail of your relationship, you expose it to outside influence, judgment, even jealousy. Protect your love by keeping it intimate. Let it be something precious between you and your partner. Trust, connection, and intimacy blossom in the quiet moments, away from the spotlight. Your spiritual practices, your meditative moments, or whatever gives you peace, keep those sacred. These are the practices that ground you and guide you. Protect that energy. Sometimes even explaining the magic of peace takes away from its beauty. Let it be your little secret. When you hold these secrets close, you're not hiding, you're protecting. You're respecting the personal boundaries that allow you to live with intention and purpose. Remember, not every part of your life needs to be open to the world. Some things grow best in silence. So go forth with that knowledge, cherish your secrets, and live a better, more powerful life. Protecting your dreams and goals is one of the most important steps you can take in the journey toward personal success. Dreams and goals are, in many ways, the very essence of what drives us forward. They give us purpose, direction, and a reason to wake up each day with a sense of motivation. Yet these dreams and goals are also fragile. The moment we begin sharing them openly, we expose them to the opinions, doubts, and judgments of others. In this age of constant connectivity, it's almost second nature to announce our intentions, to seek validation, and to look for encouragement or approval from others. However, by exposing our dreams to the world prematurely, we risk letting the doubts of others seep into our minds, ultimately impacting our focus, confidence, and clarity of our vision. When we speak about our dreams too early, we invite feedback that may not always be constructive. Not everyone we encounter will see the world as we do, nor will they understand our unique aspirations. The path we envision may appear strange, impractical, or even impossible to others, and their skepticism can be a heavy burden. The human mind is powerful, but it is also vulnerable. The words and opinions of others have an uncanny way of influencing our self-belief, especially when those opinions come from people we trust or admire. We may begin to doubt ourselves, wondering if our dreams are unrealistic or if we're simply setting ourselves up for failure. This internal conflict can become a significant obstacle, slowing us down and making us question our purpose. Another risk in sharing dreams too soon lies in the social dynamics of achievement. When we tell people about our ambitions, there's often an unspoken pressure to live up to those expectations. Instead of working for ourselves, we start to work to fill the expectations of others. This shift in motivation can be dangerous because it takes our focus away from the intrinsic joy of pursuing our goals. Instead, we become more concerned with the external validation that comes from proving others wrong or showing them that we're capable. In the end, our journey becomes less about personal fulfillment and more about gaining approval or avoiding criticism. The drive to achieve then loses its purity and our goals become tainted by external pressures. Moreover, announcing our intentions can inadvertently create a false sense of accomplishment. Psychologists have studied this phenomenon, finding that when people share their goals openly, they may experience a premature sense of achievement. It's as if speaking about the goal tricks the brain into believing some of the work is already done, thus reducing the motivation to pursue it. By publicly declaring our intentions, we feel a fleeting satisfaction, but in reality, nothing substantial has been accomplished. This illusion of progress can weaken our drive, making it harder to follow through on the actual work required. The energy that would have fueled consistent effort becomes diluted, as some of it was expended simply in the act of sharing. Dreams and goals require nurturing. They need to be protected like seedlings in a garden, shielded from harsh winds until they're strong enough to stand on their own. In the early stages of a goal, when the vision is still forming, it's particularly susceptible to outside influence. Like a seed, a dream must be planted in rich soil, watered with effort, and exposed to the sunlight of positive self-belief. But the moment that seed is subjected to too many critical voices, it risks being uprooted. When we keep our dreams private, we create an environment in which they can grow and evolve naturally without interference. It's a time to refine our vision, test our resilience, and ensure that our passion is unwavering. The more time we spend with our dreams in solitude, the clearer our path becomes and the stronger our foundation grows. This protection isn't about shutting out everyone else or refusing to seek guidance when needed. It's about being selective and strategic in who we share our vision with. Not everyone will understand, and that's okay. A trusted mentor or a close friend who genuinely believes in the U.S. may offer insights that can sharpen our focus, but these conversations should be intentional and limited. Sharing with someone who's proven supportive can be uplifting, providing valuable perspective without compromising our self-belief. However, indiscriminate sharing, especially with those who may not be fully supportive, only opens the door to unnecessary complications and potential discouragement. There's also an important psychological aspect to this. When we keep our dreams to ourselves, we remain accountable only to ourselves. This creates a more personal, internal motivation that is far more resilient than one based on external factors. We begin to work on our goals because they mean something deeply significant to us, not because we've promised them to others. This internal motivation is powerful because it's rooted in our values and aspirations. We work hard not for praise, but for the satisfaction of bringing our vision to life. This kind of motivation is self-sustaining. It pushes us to keep going, even when we encounter obstacles or setbacks. When our motivation is intrinsic, it is unwavering, enabling us to overcome challenges that might otherwise make us give up. As we work in silence, we also develop resilience. The journey toward any meaningful goal is rarely straightforward. There will be hurdles, mistakes, and moments of self-doubt. In those difficult times, we learn invaluable lessons about ourselves, lessons that strengthen our character and deepen our resolve. The struggle becomes a personal challenge, one that we face alone and from which we emerge stronger. When we navigate these challenges privately, we build mental toughness and independence, qualities that will serve us well in all aspects of life. This resilience becomes part of our story, part of the silent strength that we carry within, making us less susceptible to the influence or opinions of others. Furthermore, working on our goals privately allows us to make mistakes without fear of judgment. When no one else knows the intricacies of our journey, we're free to experiment, take risks, and learn from failures without the added pressure of public scrutiny. Every misstep becomes a learning opportunity rather than a source of embarrassment or shame. We can course correct in our own time with no need to explain ourselves to anyone else. This freedom to learn and grow in private is incredibly empowering, as it encourages us to push our limits and reach for our fullest potential. Without the fear of judgment, we're more willing to take bold steps, to pursue our dreams with conviction, and to embrace the unknown. The power of privacy also extends to the impact our achievements can have once they are finally revealed. When we keep our goals private, our progress becomes a surprise to others, a testament to our quiet dedication and hard work. There is something profoundly rewarding about achieving something significant without anyone knowing the effort we put in. When we finally unveil our accomplishments, they speak for themselves, leaving no room for doubt or skepticism. People see the results, the success, the transformation, and they understand the depth of our commitment. That this impact is far greater than if we had broadcasted every step along the way, as it demonstrates that we pursued our dreams not for validation, but for the fulfillment of our own vision. Protecting our dreams also protects our peace of mind. When we keep our ambitions to ourselves, we reduce the stress and anxiety that often come from external pressures. There is a certain calm that comes with knowing that we are working on something meaningful without the need for approval or recognition. This inner peace allows us to focus fully on our journey, to immerse ourselves in the process, and to find joy in each step. We become less distracted by the noise of the outside world, finding solace in the knowledge that our dreams are safe within us, shielded from the forces that might disrupt our path. In the end, protecting our dreams and goals is an act of self-respect. It's a way of honoring the aspirations that are uniquely ours and acknowledging the importance of our personal journey. Dreams are sacred. They are the manifestations of our deepest desires and our highest potential. When we guard them, we affirm their value, giving them the space to grow and flourish. We become more intentional, more focused, and more committed. The journey becomes a labor of love, a testament to our resilience and our belief in ourselves. Privacy in finances is an often overlooked yet crucial aspect of leading a stable, peaceful, and empowered life. In an age where sharing has become the norm, especially through social media, people tend to reveal more about their lives than ever before, sometimes even sharing intimate details about their income, assets, investments, and spending habits. While this openness can be perceived as honesty or transparency, it also opens the door to a range of potential challenges and negative consequences that many may not initially consider. Keeping one's financial details private is not about secrecy or deception, but rather about maintaining control over one's life and well-being. Privacy in finances offers a kind of quiet power, enabling a person to focus on personal growth, financial security, and goal setting without unnecessary outside influence or pressure. By keeping finances private, a person can avoid the pitfalls of judgment and comparison. Money often brings out strong reactions in people, and those reactions may be laced with jealousy, admiration, or even criticism. When financial information is made public, it often becomes a measuring stick, and others may unconsciously or consciously use it as a basis for comparison. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy in some, competitiveness in others, and an overall environment where people feel a need to constantly prove or justify their financial choices. People may end up overspending to maintain a certain image or to align with the perceived expectations of their social circle, ultimately hindering their long-term financial goals. Conversely, if someone's income or assets are perceived as too modest, they might feel judged or looked down upon, which can damage self-esteem and create stress. Keeping financial information private removes these unproductive pressures, allowing an individual to focus on their goals without worrying about how they might appear to others. Financial privacy also helps in preventing exploitation. When someone openly discusses their income, investments, or even debts, it inadvertently makes them a potential target for manipulation. This is particularly true in professional and social environments where people with knowledge of someone's financial situation may attempt to sway decisions to their advantage. For instance, in work settings, revealing financial goals or income details could make one vulnerable to unfair treatment or even influence perceptions of their worth, sometimes leading to missed opportunities for raises or promotions. Financial discussions can affect personal relationships as well, leading to situations where friends or family might expect financial assistance or gifts based on their perception of one's financial capability. When financial boundaries are crossed, it can strain relationships, breeding resentment and creating expectations that may be difficult or uncomfortable to fulfill. Privacy, therefore, acts as a protective layer, helping individuals set boundaries and avoid unnecessary entanglements that might arise if others were fully aware of their financial standing. Additionally, privacy allows individuals the freedom to manage their finances based on their personal values rather than conforming to societal expectations. For instance, someone may choose to save a significant portion of their income for future investments, opting for a minimalist lifestyle over lavish spending. When others are unaware of their financial situation, they can pursue these personal financial decisions without feeling the need to justify or explain them. In contrast, if someone's frugality were public knowledge, they might face questions or judgments from those who don't understand or appreciate that perspective. Similarly, those who enjoy spending on certain luxuries might prefer to keep these choices private to avoid scrutiny or judgment. This discretion provides financial autonomy, enabling people to align their spending habits with their own priorities rather than feeling compelled to adhere to societal standards of success, wealth, or generosity. Financial privacy can also serve as a form of self-preservation and mental well-being. Money discussions often trigger strong emotional responses because they touch upon themes of security, independence, and self-worth. The more one discusses and exposes their financial situation, the more they may feel an external, perhaps uninvited scrutiny. When others know about one's finances, they may unintentionally impose their beliefs, insecurities, or expectations, sometimes leading to stress or self-doubt. Furthermore, certain achievements like receiving a raise or a bonus might bring momentary excitement, but sharing it openly can shift the focus from celebrating a personal milestone to feeling pressure from others' reactions. Protecting financial privacy enables an individual to enjoy their financial journey without the emotional turmoil that often accompanies oversharing. This mental space, free from external opinion, allows people to make wiser, well-thought-out decisions about saving, spending, and investing, all of which are crucial for long-term financial health and satisfaction. Another significant benefit of financial privacy is that it fosters genuine relationships. When financial information remains private, relationships are less likely to be influenced by monetary factors, ensuring that connections are built on mutual respect, trust, and shared interests rather than financial status. Money, after all, can create power dynamics intentionally or unintentionally. By keeping financial details private, individuals prevent potential friends or partners from forming expectations based on perceived wealth or lack thereof. Instead, relationships can grow based on authentic shared experiences. This principle applies not only to personal relationships, but to professional ones as well. By keeping financial information private, colleagues, employers, or even clients interact with a person based on their professional skills and character, not on financial assumptions or status. This creates a level playing field where individuals can be valued for their true selves and contributions. On a practical level, privacy in finances also minimizes risks of fraud and identity theft. The more a person shares about their financial situation, whether through conversations or on social media, the more they risk exposing information that could be used against them. Cybersecurity threats are more prevalent than ever, and sharing even seemingly harmless details can sometimes open doors to malicious actors. Personal information such as income, employment details, or even vacation plans can serve as pieces in a puzzle for those who wish to engage in fraudulent activity. By keeping finances private, individuals add a layer of security that protects their assets and personal information. While it may seem extreme to worry about such risks, discretion in financial matters is ultimately a form of modern self-protection that allows people to reduce vulnerabilities in an increasingly interconnected digital world. In addition, financial privacy supports personal growth by allowing individuals to set and achieve goals based on intrinsic motivation rather than external validation. When one's financial aspirations, challenges, and milestones are private, it removes the pressure to meet societal expectations, making the journey more meaningful and fulfilling. People can pursue financial education, make investments, pay off debts, or build wealth according to their timeline and capability without the added weight of public perception. Financial independence and the journey toward it are often filled with setbacks, and by keeping this journey private, individuals are free to navigate their unique paths without explaining or justifying each choice. This privacy nurtures resilience, persistence, and adaptability, traits essential for achieving any long-term goal. Keeping finances private also strengthens discipline. By not feeling pressure to show results, whether it's through lifestyle choices or purchases, individuals are more likely to make disciplined financial decisions. For example, someone working to save or invest might feel the pull to spend on status symbols if their financial goals were publicly known, particularly in settings where peer comparison is strong. Without the need to prove one's financial standing, it's easier to remain focused on core goals. Discipline in finances is vital for stability and growth, and privacy supports this by freeing individuals from societal pressures and expectations that may not align with their own priorities. Lastly, financial privacy contributes to a mindset of contentment and satisfaction. A society that constantly pushes for more success, more wealth, more visible achievements, keeping finances private allows individuals to step away from the race and simply focus on what truly matters to them. Privacy in finances gives people the freedom to define success in their terms, whether that means achieving financial independence, paying off debts, or simply having a modest lifestyle that brings peace and joy. This quiet confidence fosters genuine happiness as financial choices become a personal reflection of one's values rather than an outward show for validation. By keeping financial matters private, people can cultivate a sense of fulfillment that is rooted in their reality, free from the distractions of external expectations or societal benchmarks. Keeping silence on strategy can be one of the most powerful, often underestimated tools in achieving one's goals. In our current age of oversharing, it might seem almost counterintuitive. Social media, daily interactions, and our cultural shift toward openness encourage people to share every step of their journey, as if each move toward a goal deserves its own headline. But the value of keeping plans close, of working quietly and consistently without broadcasting each decision, is profound. When you keep your next steps to yourself, you protect both your mental energy and your path forward from distractions, detours, and potentially negative influences. When a goal is newly formed or a plan is taking shape, it's delicate, almost like a seedling. At this stage, sharing can expose it to others' opinions, which may not always align with what's best for you. Many people might see your dream through the lens of their own limitations, viewing it as unrealistic or too ambitious because they themselves wouldn't dare to pursue something similar. Their doubts, vocalized or not, can subtly affect your own thinking. What was once a clear and exciting vision can start to feel like it carries unnecessary weight, and if you're not careful, those voices can lead you to compromise your goal before you even start. By keeping your strategy silent, you allow your goal to grow strong without interference in an environment free from doubt or skepticism. There's also a psychological power that comes with holding your cards close. In a way, it's like maintaining an element of surprise, not for others, but for yourself. As you make incremental progress, each small victory fuels you without the need for external validation. You start to rely on your own sense of accomplishment rather than the fleeting approval or validation that comes from others. This self-contained motivation can become a more sustainable and lasting fuel. When your plan remains quiet and personal, each step forward is a reminder that the goal is yours and yours alone, a vision nurtured from within rather than shaped by the expectations or judgments of others. The feeling of this kind of achievement is empowering as you realize that the work itself and the progress you make matter more than outside acknowledgement. Another aspect of silent strategy is its usefulness in maintaining flexibility. Often when plans are shared publicly, we feel pressured to follow through exactly as stated. Changing directions, making adjustments, or even abandoning parts of the strategy become harder when others are aware of each step. Once others are aware of your plans, you may feel that altering them will come across as failure or inconsistency, even though adjusting your approach is often necessary for real progress. Keeping silent allows you the space to pivot freely, adapting your actions to meet evolving circumstances without the additional layer of external expectations. This flexibility is crucial because most goals worth achieving don't unfold linearly. They require recalibration and resilience. Silent strategy keeps the pressure low, providing a personal space where you're free to move in whatever direction serves you best. Then there's the matter of energy. When we talk about our strategies and plans repeatedly, it can create a false sense of progress. Speaking at length about a goal can sometimes make it feel as though we're further along than we are. But talking is not the same as doing. In fact, studies in psychology suggest that sharing goals or plans prematurely can trick the brain into feeling that some part of the accomplishment has already been achieved, diminishing the drive to actually follow through. When you keep silent, your focus remains entirely on the doing rather than on the talking. This channeling of energy toward action instead of discussion can make a tangible difference, pushing you to achieve real milestones rather than getting caught up in hypothetical conversations. Silence on strategy is also an excellent tool for self-discipline. Resisting the urge to share your plans trains your mind to focus on the end goal without needing external rewards along the way. Instead of seeking reassurance or encouragement from others, you find those sources of motivation within yourself. This independence is invaluable because it builds resilience. When the going gets tough, and it often will, you'll be better equipped to persevere since you're not dependent on external validation. Self-discipline cultivated in this way through silent work is often stronger and more enduring than discipline reliant on applause or acknowledgement. There's also a practical advantage to keeping strategies quiet. It minimizes the competition. In any pursuit, sharing too much too soon can give others insight into what you're doing, potentially sparking unnecessary competition or even direct replication of your ideas. This isn't just about proprietary ideas or intellectual property, it's about guarding the unique way you approach your goals. Often it's your distinct way of thinking and the particular path you take that gives you an edge. By keeping those specifics under wraps, you avoid unnecessary competition, allowing you to work in peace and focus on your own path without interference. In professional settings, silent strategy is a particularly powerful approach. In any competitive environment, whether it's corporate, entrepreneurial, or academic, there's wisdom in not revealing every step. When you maintain a low profile, you avoid tipping off others to your plans. By keeping certain moves concealed, you maintain control over the narrative of your own progress. When you do achieve your goal, it's often more impactful, surprising, and memorable because no one anticipated it. The element of surprise can often work to your advantage, allowing you to capitalize on the momentum that comes from achieving something unexpected. On a personal level, there's something sacred about working toward a goal in solitude. When you hold your strategy within, you foster a relationship with yourself that is honest, focused, and unwavering. You learn to become your own support system, to trust your instincts, and to navigate challenges without needing a safety net of external encouragement. This strengthens your character and builds inner confidence. Over time, this quiet confidence can become one of your greatest assets. It's a type of resilience that doesn't waver because it's based on the steady foundation of self-trust rather than on the variable nature of outside opinions. One of the most overlooked aspects of silence and strategy is that it teaches patience. We're often eager to see immediate results, and sharing our plans can sometimes be a way of seeking that instant gratification. But goals of real value take time, often unfolding over months or years. By keeping our plans to ourselves, we give ourselves permission to wait, to nurture the plan as it grows, and to resist the urge to seek premature results. This patience can lead to a more thoughtful, refined approach, one that's often far more sustainable and successful than a strategy rushed to completion. Finally, silence on strategy can enhance your sense of fulfillment. When your journey toward a goal is private, there's something profoundly satisfying about reaching that goal and knowing how much dedication, effort, and resilience it took to get there. The feeling of accomplishment is pure, untouched by the need for outside validation. It's a quiet, deep sense of pride that comes from knowing you did it not for others, not for recognition, but for yourself. This kind of fulfillment is lasting and becomes a source of motivation for future goals, reinforcing the cycle of internal motivation and self-driven success. The quiet pursuit of a goal is at its core an exercise in wisdom. It's understanding that not everything needs to be shared, that some journeys are best traveled alone, and that the process of achieving something significant often requires more inner strength than outward noise. Generosity without recognition is a concept that speaks to the heart of altruism, stripping away the need for external validation and allowing the act itself to be its own reward. In a world driven by likes, followers, and public acknowledgement, the essence of true generosity risks becoming overshadowed by the desire for personal validation. When people give or help others quietly without fanfare, they elevate the impact of their actions and contribute something far more profound to both themselves and those they serve. When we give anonymously, we engage in a form of generosity that feels pure, unadulterated by ego. The absence of recognition forces us to examine our motivations. Are we giving to uplift others or to uplift ourselves? By choosing to give without acknowledgement, we remove the potential for ego to influence our actions. The deed becomes about the other person entirely. This is a selfless act in its purest form, giving purely because it is the right thing to do, without expecting applause or reciprocation. The world's greatest philanthropists often embrace this ethos. They see the significance of the act itself beyond the eyes of others. One of the great benefits of generosity without recognition is the power it has to foster true human connection. When people know that their needs have been met through the kindness of someone who seeks nothing in return, they experience a unique form of gratitude. This gratitude is different because it is directed not toward the benefactor but toward the kindness they embody. The experience of receiving anonymous help often leaves a person feeling valued and validated, not as a way to pay back the giver, but as a motivator to contribute that same kindness forward. In this way, giving without recognition can start a cycle of goodwill as people who have been helped feel inspired to pay that generosity forward, contributing positively to their communities and social circles. Generosity without the need for recognition can also cultivate a deep sense of personal satisfaction and fulfillment that no amount of external applause can match. When we give in this manner, we experience a profound inner joy and peace that stems from the knowledge that we made a difference even if no one else knows. This sense of fulfillment is lasting because it is rooted in our intrinsic values and beliefs rather than in the fleeting approval of others. It is an act of genuine empathy and understanding where the giver focuses entirely on the needs of the recipient, empathizing with their situation and striving to help without expecting anything in return. This kind of giving has the power to enrich the giver's life in ways that superficial validation never could, for it resonates deeply with the human spirit's innate desire to connect, uplift, and be of service. The act of giving in silence holds a certain humility. In a culture that often measures value in terms of status and recognition, silent generosity stands out as a refreshing approach, one that underscores the beauty of humility. People who choose to give quietly understand that their worth and the worth of their actions do not rely on the praise or approval of others. They seek to keep their actions between themselves and the person they are helping, or even themselves alone. This humility often brings a quiet strength, as those who give without recognition are motivated by a different kind of power, the power of integrity and of knowing they are contributing positively to the world without needing others to validate that contribution. Humility, in this sense, becomes an anchor that keeps them grounded, allowing them to remain focused on their mission of helping others rather than seeking personal gain. There is also a unique beauty in the mystery of anonymous generosity. When acts of kindness are performed without any indication of who is behind them, they carry a sense of magic. Imagine the experience of someone who receives a gift or a helping hand with no name attached. The mystery of not knowing who provided the kindness can make the act feel almost mystical, as if kindness itself appeared out of thin air. This experience often touches people more deeply than if they knew the benefactor's identity. The mysterious nature of anonymous generosity can serve as a reminder of the inherent goodness that exists in the world, fostering hope and faith in humanity. In a world that can sometimes feel divided and self-interested, these mysterious acts of generosity serve as powerful reminders of the human capacity for selflessness. Giving without recognition also frees the giver from societal expectations or judgments. When a person's generosity is public, it is often subject to scrutiny and critique. People may question the giver's motives or the methods they use to help others. In contrast, anonymous generosity shields the giver from such judgments, allowing them to focus entirely on the act of giving itself. This creates a space for pure, unfiltered kindness, as the giver no longer needs to worry about how their actions will be perceived or interpreted. Instead, they can channel all of their energy into helping in the best way they know how, guided solely by their compassion and desire to make a positive impact. For many, the act of giving anonymously is a deeply personal and spiritual experience. Many spiritual and philosophical traditions emphasize the value of giving in silence. In some traditions, it is believed that when one gives without expecting anything in return, including recognition, they align themselves with a higher purpose, allowing them to experience a profound sense of inner peace. In this context, generosity becomes not just an act of kindness, but a spiritual practice that nourishes the soul. The selfless act of helping another human being is seen as a form of meditation, an opportunity to transcend the ego and connect with something greater than oneself. This spiritual dimension of anonymous giving adds a layer of meaning and purpose that can be incredibly fulfilling. Generosity without recognition has the potential to transform societies. When acts of kindness are performed without the desire for recognition, they inspire others to do the same. In a community where people regularly give without expecting anything in return, a culture of kindness and mutual support begins to take root. Such a culture fosters a sense of belonging and solidarity as people start to realize that they are not alone in their struggles and that there are others who genuinely care. Over time, this spirit of generosity can build stronger, more compassionate communities where people look out for one another not because they want credit, but because they recognize their shared humanity. Generosity without recognition also has a significant impact on the recipient, often more profound than public acts of giving. When someone receives help from an anonymous source, they are spared any feelings of obligation or indebtedness that can sometimes accompany acts of public generosity. Instead, they experience the kindness as a gift given freely with no strings attached. This can be incredibly empowering as it allows the recipient to accept the help without feeling like they owe anything in return. It's an experience of pure gratitude where they can simply receive and feel supported without any added pressure. This can be particularly impactful for individuals who are going through difficult times as it allows them to focus on their own healing and growth without feeling burdened by a sense of obligation to repay the kindness. In a broader sense, generosity without recognition serves as a counterbalance to the ego-driven aspects of society. In a world where people often seek recognition and validation for their accomplishments, anonymous giving challenges the idea that our worth is defined by others' approval. It shifts the focus from external validation to internal fulfillment, reminding us that true satisfaction comes not from the acknowledgement of others, but from living in alignment with our values. By giving without expecting anything in return, we cultivate a sense of self-worth that is not dependent on external factors, allowing us to live more authentically and to find joy in the act of giving itself. In this way, generosity without recognition becomes a form of freedom. It frees us from the need to be seen, acknowledged, or rewarded for our actions. It allows us to experience the joy of giving without the weight of expectation. This freedom is liberating as it allows us to focus entirely on the impact of our actions rather than on how those actions will be perceived. It enables us to give from a place of love and compassion rather than from a desire for validation. This kind of freedom is rare, and it is incredibly fulfilling as it allows us to experience the true joy of giving. In the end, generosity without recognition is about aligning with our deepest values and connecting with others in a way that transcends ego and self-interest. It's about giving freely without expecting anything in return and finding fulfillment in the act of giving itself. It is a powerful form of generosity that can transform both the giver and the recipient, fostering a sense of connection, compassion, and mutual support that can ultimately lead to a more compassionate and empathetic world. This approach to generosity reminds us that some of life's most meaningful actions are those that are done quietly without the need for applause. For in the silence of these acts lies a beauty that speaks to the heart of the human spirit. Preserving inner peace is one of the most powerful pursuits we can engage in, yet it's often elusive in a world filled with distractions, demands, and disruptions. The pursuit of inner peace goes beyond simply being calm. It's a deep-rooted sense of harmony that aligns our emotions, thoughts, and actions, allowing us to navigate life's challenges without being swept away by its currents. True inner peace is a sanctuary within that remains intact regardless of external circumstances. Our inner peace is built upon the values and beliefs we hold. By grounding ourselves in these principles, we create a framework for handling stress and adversity. For example, when we value kindness, compassion, and gratitude, we approach our interactions and challenges from a place of understanding rather than reaction. Instead of reacting impulsively or emotionally to every event, we can take a step back, assess the situation, and respond thoughtfully. This process creates a powerful filter between us and the external world where we choose what affects us and to what degree. It's about creating an intentional space between our experiences and our responses, a buffer that shields us from being entirely at the mercy of external forces. This ability to step back allows us to evaluate our emotions and reactions, to understand them and respond in a way that aligns with our values rather than being controlled by momentary feelings. Mindfulness is an essential practice in preserving inner peace. It's the process of being fully present and aware of our surroundings, our thoughts, and our emotions without judgment. When we cultivate mindfulness, we develop the ability to observe our thoughts and feelings without getting entangled in them. This detachment is not about being emotionless, rather, it's about not letting our emotions dictate our actions or state of mind. Setting healthy boundaries is another essential part of preserving inner peace. In a world that constantly demands our attention and energy, boundaries act as a protective shield, allowing us to conserve our resources for what truly matters. Setting boundaries isn't about building walls, it's about being selective with what and who we allow into our lives. It's recognizing that our time, energy, and peace are valuable, and not everything deserves a place in our world. This can mean limiting time spent on social media, declining invitations that don't align with our values, or choosing not to engage in gossip or negativity. Letting go of the need for control is a transformative step toward inner peace. Often we believe that by controlling every aspect of our lives, we can prevent unwanted outcomes and maintain a sense of stability. However, this desire for control is usually rooted in fear and leads to stress and anxiety when things don't go as planned. Life is inherently unpredictable, and no amount of planning or preparation can account for every possibility. Our inner peace is also greatly influenced by our thoughts. Negative, self-critical, or anxious thoughts can create an internal environment of chaos and unrest. Learning to reframe our thinking and cultivate a positive mindset is vital in preserving our tranquility. This doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing negative thoughts, but rather challenging them and replacing them with constructive, empowering beliefs. Practicing gratitude, focusing on our strengths, and recognizing our accomplishments can help us shift our mindset toward positivity. Positive thinking doesn't just improve our mood, it influences how we perceive and interact with the world. Self-compassion is another critical component in the journey toward inner peace. We are often our harshest critics, judging ourselves for every mistake or perceived shortcoming. This self-criticism creates an internal environment of stress and dissatisfaction. Practicing self-compassion, on the other hand, allows us to accept our imperfections with kindness. It's about treating ourselves with the same understanding and empathy that we would offer a friend. An essential part of preserving inner peace is recognizing and accepting our limitations. We live in a society that glorifies productivity, often to the detriment of our mental health. However, pushing ourselves to the brink in the pursuit of success without regard for our well-being only leads to exhaustion and burnout. By acknowledging our limits and respecting our need for rest, we can maintain a balanced and sustainable approach to life. Taking breaks, practicing self-care, and understanding that it's okay to slow down are vital in preserving our inner calm. Inner peace is also cultivated through forgiveness. Holding on to resentment or grudges is like carrying a heavy burden that weighs down our spirit. By choosing to forgive, we release this weight and free ourselves from the past. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior or forgetting what happened. It's about choosing not to let those experiences control our present. Practicing gratitude is a simple yet powerful way to preserve inner peace. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude reminds us of the good in our lives, even during our lives, even in difficult times. By regularly acknowledging our blessings, we create a sense of contentment that anchors us in peace. Surrounding ourselves with positivity is another key factor in preserving inner peace. Our environment, including the people we interact with, has a significant impact on our state of mind. Negative influences, whether they come from toxic relationships, stressful workplaces, or even the media, can disturb our peace. By choosing to surround ourselves with uplifting people, supportive communities, and inspiring content, we create an environment that nurtures our well-being. Practicing presence or living in the moment is one of the most effective ways to maintain inner peace. Our minds often dwell on the past or worry about the future, which pulls us away from the present moment. By focusing on the here and now, we can fully experience life without the weight of regrets or anxieties. In sum, preserving inner peace requires conscious effort and practice. It's a daily commitment to prioritize our well-being, set boundaries, and cultivate a positive mindset. It's about making choices that align with our values, focusing on what truly matters, and letting go of what doesn't serve us. Inner peace is not a destination, but a way of being, a journey of self-discovery and growth that empowers us to live with authenticity, resilience, and grace. Through mindfulness, gratitude, self-compassion, and intentional living, we can create a sanctuary within, a place of calm that remains untouched by the chaos of the outside world.